All right, welcome back. This is Uno Games teaching you part 2 of my series of Discord.js. So what we're going to do today is we're going to create the bot, we're going to get the bot online, and we're going to also tell through the console what is our bot's name and how can we change everything. So first things first, this is where we left off. We left off with the open folder. So we're going to go to our web browser and we're going to go to discord.com and we're going to scroll all the way to the bottom from the top of the page. And we're going to go to where it says developers. Hopefully you're already logged in, but if you're not logged in, it'll ask you to sign in. Once you're signed in, you're going to go to your applications. Once you're at your applications, you're going to click new application. I have many bots, so excuse that. You're going to click new application. You're going to give it a name. So I'm going to say YouTube tutorials. And then press enter. And here's our bot. However, this is not our bot. We want to actually have a functioning bot. So in order for that to happen, we had to go to where it says bot on the bottom left, top left, excuse me. And we're going to say add bot. So with this one, I'm going to leave the name as is, but you could give it any kind of name except you can't change the hashtag. That's about it. So with this token, you're here for the token. With that, you're going to use that as your bot's password. Do not give that out to anyone. I won't be showing mine here for the simple reason that I don't want you guys to get it, basically. Now that we have the bot created, we can go back to Visual Studio, in which we're going to actually make the bot come alive. We're going to make it go online. So we're going to go to create a file. We're going to click this little new file icon, or we can just right click and press new file. And we're going to call it app.js. You can call it anything you want. You could even call it your name.js, whatever, right? So long as it has .js and we can actually type it out in the console, no spaces, you'll be fine. So once we have that app.js, we're going to also right click on the left side of the screen, right into the folder. And we're going to open integrated terminal. This is where Visual Studio Code shines compared to the others. This has an integrated terminal in which we can do all of our console commands through the actual application. So what we're going to do is we're going to run the command, and I'm going to actually increase the size of this. Whoops. There we go. We're going to increase the size so you guys could read it better. So what we're going to do is run npm install discord.js. That's what we're going to run. What that's going to do, install the discord.js library and allow us to use it in our code. Now that we have it installed, it created a new file. It also created node modules. We don't need any of that. All we need to do is go back to our app.js. In the app.js is where we're going to start coding. This is what you're here for. But before we do that, we need to create the token, what's going to hold our information and our prefix, which is the command symbol that people are going to use to summon the bot. So with that, we're going to create a new file again. And this time we're going to call it anything you want. I'm going to call mine bot. And I'm going to .json that. JSON is literally just another way of storing variables and data. It honestly is just the easiest way to do it. So we're going to use open curly braces. And we're going to use quotes to define our variables. We're going to use this one to define our token. Right? Then we're going to use a colon as well as another quote, and that'll symbolize what our token will be. I won't show you my token again. We're also going to make a second variable, which will be our prefix. This is going to be the character that's going to summon our bot. For me, I personally love using period. Period, mute, period, whatever. That's how we're going to control my bot. That's how I'd like to control it. You don't have to go with the period. You could do anything you want. I just like period. Not like that. Once you're done with the bot.json file, where you put your token and everything, we're not going to touch it again unless we're using it in code. I'm not going to go back into that. Again, I don't want you guys to see my token. Now, what we're going to do first is define two variables. Then we're going to make those two constant variables. So we're going to do const. I'm going to define it as Discord. And I'm going to require the discord.js library. Whoops. Make sure it's lowercase. The second variable is going to be the client, which is our bot. You can name it anything you want. You could, some people even call it bot. I personally like client. It's just much simpler to remember. Now I'm going to make a new instance of Discord.client. And this is gonna be how we're gonna communicate with the API. Now the last thing we're gonna do is write client, which is our variable, dot login, and we're gonna pass it the token. However, we're not gonna pass the token as a string for sake of security throughout this video. What we're gonna do is instead create a constant variable, and I'm gonna call that bot because that's what I named the bot file, the JSON file. And we're going to require the JSON file, in which case we start off with /, which means it's going to be within that same folder that the app.js file is in. I'm going to call bot.json. And what this is going to basically say, those two variables we defined is now found within the bot variable that we just created. So now I'm going to call the token using bot.token. So with that being said, that's enough to get the bot online. However, we want it to tell us when the bot is online. We want it to tell us the name. We want it to tell us the good stuff. Now that the bot is online, we want to make sure that the bot can communicate to us whenever it goes online, whenever it does something, whenever something happens, which is what's called an event. With that is going to be, we're going to use the client variable to call these events, to search for these events, excuse me. And we're going to use on. We're going to pass it the event. And in which case, this, I want to know when the bot is online. I want to know, the console will tell me, this bot is online. I want that. That's my goal right now. So we're going to put that on ready. Whoops. Ooh. Typo. We're going to go straight forward with the arrow function. We're going to use the parentheses. It's going to be an empty variable, so we're not looking for anything. And it's going to be an arrow function, which JavaScript is blessed us with. Once it's ready, we want the console, excuse me, to let us know, hey, the client dot, let's actually do this. Instead, we're going to use the key next to the one key. I completely forgot what it's called. Sue me. And we're going to say logged in as, let's say, and then we're going to do something that JavaScript introduced later on. But simply, it's a $sign and curly opening and closing brackets. This will allow us to put a variable within the actual string that we're using. In this case, we're going to do client, which is accessing our bot, dot user, again accessing our bot, dot username. So if we go back to the discord.js site, this is literally just going to translate to client.user, which is going to bring back the client user, and .username, which is literally just going to tell us the username of the bot. This is why the discord.js website is going to be very useful to us now. It'll explain what everything does, and we can see in real time. We activate our script by doing node.js. Boom. Logged in as YouTube tutorials. So now you got your bot online. Now we're able to actually access what's going on with the bot, but let's also bring it into our server as our final step in this video. We're going to invite our bot to the server by going to the 002 auth. You get the point. And we're going to click on bot. The bot permissions we want to give it is going to be administrator, just because we want the bot to have unlimited access to the server that we bring it into, so that we don't have to deal with the headaches later. We're going to copy that link. We're going to paste it up here. And we're going to select the server. I'm going to select the server that I made for this, which is NoU. And we're going to give it the administrative permission. I'm not a robot. And boom. Now the bot is in our server, in which we could see that right here. This is our new bot, and it's going to say, I'm new on Discord. Hey! So this is our bot. This is what we're going to be using for the tutorials from here on. And in the next tutorial, we're going to work on actually messing with messages. Making the bot respond to things. Getting it summoned by users. The exciting things. And progressively, we'll move on to other things like using commands to kick people, mute people, etc., etc. Stay tuned. If you like this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, stick around. I'll be making more of these videos as people request.
and enjoy.